Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about a tech one-two punch that is totally changing the game for banking. I'm talking about the Internet of Things and edge computing. This team-up is making your bank faster, a whole lot smarter, and way more secure. So, let's dive in.
But first, let me just ask you this. What if your bank could stop a crime dead in its tracks before it's even complete? Seriously, this isn't science fiction anymore. It's the kind of power we're unpacking today, and believe me, it is just the tip of the iceberg.
All right, so let's get down to the basics. To really get how this revolution works, you've got to understand the two key pieces of the puzzle, IoT and edge computing. These two are the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
Okay, first up, the Internet of Things, or IoT. Now, the easiest way to think about it is this. IoT basically gives everyday objects a digital voice, digital senses even. It's this huge, sprawling network of devices. We're talking cameras, sensors, your car, you name it, and they can all see or feel something happening and then report back over the internet. Now, all that data from those millions of IoT devices has to go somewhere, right? Well, traditionally, you'd send it all the way to a big, centralized cloud to get processed. But edge computing completely flips that script. The whole idea is to put a small, powerful computer right there at the edge of the network, right next to the sensor, to analyze the information on the spot.
So, what's the real difference here? Well, think of it like this. Edge computing is like a human reflex. You touch a hot stove, your hand pulls back instantly, right? You don't wait for the signal to go all the way to your brain and back. That's the edge. The cloud, that's the brain. It's amazing for deep thinking and big analysis, but that signal takes time to travel. And in situations where every single millisecond counts, that delay, well, it can be a real deal breaker.
And this, right here, is where the magic really starts to happen. When you take these senses of IoT and you combine them with the reflexes of edge computing, you get something that is truly transformative. You get a system that can see what's happening in the real world and act on it instantly. So why is this combo such a game changer? Well, first off, it absolutely crushes latency. I mean, for things like fraud detection, you just can't afford that round trip to the cloud. It also saves a ton of money on bandwidth because you're only sending the important stuff, not just raw video streams. Plus, you get a huge boost in security and privacy by keeping sensitive data local. And get this, it even keeps working if the internet connection goes down. So the whole system pretty much works like a three-layer cake. Down at the bottom, you've got the device layer. That's all your IoT sensors and cameras out in the world just collecting data. Then, in the middle, you have the edge layer. That's the local brain, making those split-second decisions. And then way up at the top, you have the cloud layer, which looks at all the important summaries to find those big-picture trends. Each layer has its own really important job to do.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's talk about banking. How is this dynamic duo giving financial institutions actual superpowers? Like, right now? Today?
Let's circle back to that ATM we talked about. So you've got an IoT camera on the machine, and it's always watching. The very second someone tries to install a tiny card skimmer, an edge processor that's built right into the ATM analyzes the video, recognizes the threat, and boom, it can shut down the machine or alert security. Instantly. No delay, no waiting for the cloud. Just a lightning-fast protective reflex.
And hey, it's not just ATMs. When you tap your card to pay for groceries, the newest payment terminals are running fraud checks right there on the device itself. They can analyze dozens of data points about that transaction in less than 200 milliseconds. That's literally faster than you can blink to figure out if it's legit. And all of that happens before the request even gets sent to the bank.
And, this isn't just about being fast. It's also about being incredibly accurate. Real-world deployments of these smart ATM systems have showed about a 30% reduction in false positives. Now, what that means for you is fewer legitimate customers getting their cards incorrectly blocked. It just makes the whole experience way smoother and a whole lot safer for everyone involved. So that's what's happening right now. But what about the future? I mean, as these technologies get even more powerful, they are on track to unlock some truly mind-bending new things for our financial lives. Just imagine this for a second. Your smartwatch doesn't just tap to pay for your coffee, it also securely shares some of your anonymized wellness data. So maybe your health insurer offers you a real-time discount on a healthy lunch, and that decision is processed right there on your wrist. It's banking that's literally woven into the fabric of your life. Or let's think bigger, like agriculture. A farmer needs a loan for seeds. Instead of waiting weeks and filling out tons of paperwork, an IoT drone flies over the fields, soil sensors report on the conditions, and an AI model on the edge analyzes all that data right there on the farm and approves the loan in minutes. This could totally revolutionize how small businesses get access to money.
And what about car insurance? Well, your car becomes an IoT device, tracking how safely you drive. All that data gets processed at the edge, inside your vehicle, to assess your actual risk. So if you drive safely, your premium could actually go down in real time. We're moving away from these one-size-fits-all policies to something that's truly personal and, frankly, a lot more fair.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. What about privacy with all this data flying around? Well, that's where this incredible technology called federated learning comes into play. Think of it like this. Instead of sending all your private data to some central AI brain, the AI model actually comes to your device to learn. That means your raw data, your driving habits, your health stats, it never, ever leaves your phone or your car. It's a really powerful way to build privacy in from the very beginning.
So after seeing all of this in action, what's the big takeaway here? Why is this combination of IoT and edge computing such a massive, fundamental shift for the entire banking world?
Well, it really boils down to 4 huge advantages. First, you've got real-time action, which means faster service and instant decisions. Second, there's enhanced security because your most sensitive data stays local. Third is operational resilience. Services keep on working even if the internet goes out. And finally, you've got cost efficiency because you're just being way smarter about data. It is quite literally a win across the board.
So in the end, Edge and IoT aren't just making banking a little bit faster. They're building a whole new foundation for finance, one that's way more intelligent, way more secure, and accessible absolutely everywhere. Which kind of leaves us with a pretty fascinating question. As our banks start to develop these new digital reflexes, what will we ask them to do for us next? Thanks for watching.